It was 1998 when he was caught doing a massive burnout in the middle of a British A1 motorway before attempting a top speed run of 200 miles per hour at 4 a.m. on a rainy winter night. He was arrested by the local police. His stunt immediately caught media attention worldwide, including back home in Japan. After the power show, he was challenged to take his Supra to 200 miles per hour. Smokey Nagata, being the person he was, couldn't refuse the challenge. It involved speed, and he wanted media coverage. It was never done before on a public road in the UK. Problem was, it was a Japanese registered car. It wasn't supposed to be on the road in the first place, but he didn't care. The speed limit in England was 70 miles per hour, so he kind of already knew he was headed for trouble, but it didn't stop him from doing what he was going to do. Most people don't even try this on closed courses, let alone public highways. So a little past 4 a.m. on a cold British night, he went up to the A1 highway in his gold-painted Toyota MK4 Supra to target 200 miles per hour. He stopped in the middle of the road, did a massive burnout before he hit his high-speed attempt. In the first attempt, the engine was running lean. Then he tried a second time, reaching 190 miles per hour where he thought the engine might blow. And on the last try, Nagata did a massive burnout in the middle of the road and rocketed the 1,000 horsepower Godzilla-powered Supra down the A1 of the British Midlands. He was focused on his goal of 200 miles per hour. And I mean, he was flying, and he touched 194 miles per hour. And then he saw the cherries and berries of the police.
So he pulled over and he got arrested by the Brits. And check this, the dude tells the cops in English that he doesn't speak English.
You speak English? No, I speak Japanese.
And they're like, yeah, that checks out. So that officially broke the record for fastest vehicle on the road in the UK. He was thrown in jail and questioned by the police, and he didn't speak English, so they got him a lawyer and a translator. He pleaded guilty, but only admitted he was doing 120 miles an hour, and they made him pay a £155 fine and a £35 court fee. And they banned him from the UK for 10 years. Like, oh no, not a ban from England. And isn't that just like the Brits to be so high in their own supply that they think the worst thing they could do to someone is not let them into their shitty country? Like, damn, I guess I'll have to cross the wonderful country of England off my vacation list. It was right up there with Bosnia and Kuwait. So needless to say, he immediately flies back to Japan.
And to his surprise, the stunt went viral in Japan, and even worldwide. He was a sensation in the underground racing scene. He was synonymous with going fast. After this incident, there was no going back for Smokey Nagata and his shop Top Secret. His Supra caught the attention of an Emirati prince, and his offer was not to be refused. So he sold the legendary Supra. Now Top Secret was making faster and faster cars like Smokey always wanted. So who is Smokey Nagata? Is he a criminal? Yeah. Is he a lunatic with a Supra? Yeah. And that's why he's on this channel. Everybody tried stopping him, but he didn't listen. In the 80s, he was known as the car guy, and was a well-known name in the underground racing scene. This was an underground racing scene where different clubs would secretly compete against each other to see who was the best. Some of these clubs, despite trying to stay secret, got world famous. You may have heard of the Midnight Club, full of Japan's rich elites who had an addiction to racing, and would even get kicked out of the club if they lost a race to a rival club. Either way, the world of motorsports is incomplete without Smokey's name. Mild in his mannerisms, CEO of Top Secret, a pioneer in JDM tuning. So how did this small town man become a speed demon? And what's the reason behind his insane burnouts over the years? Kazuhiko Smokey Nagata, and I'm probably butchering that, but hey, I'm doing my best here, was born in 1964 on a small island in Japan called Hokkaido? Yeah, let's go with that. He became obsessed with the sensation of speed at that age. Soon he started driving a bike on the farmlands for fun. He bought a go-kart as well, but there was no place to drive in town, so he started driving on the streets. And that's where he discovered his love for fast cars. Finally, he bought a second-hand Mitsubishi Galant GTO. He started to fix it despite his father being a mechanic. It was illegal to drive at 16 in Japan at the time, and he was expelled.
This is the pattern I want to point out. When you have somebody who enjoys life and thinks for themselves, you have a bunch of NPCs that try to break their spirit and make them conform. Like, bro, ruining somebody else's life isn't going to make your life any less boring.
His neighbor held himself responsible and got Smokey a job at Toyota. He knew he'd be good in the automotive industry, making him the youngest employee at Toyota. Smokey was a hard worker and picked up complicated engineering techniques quickly. He was keen on his work, and his passion only grew while working there. Meanwhile, he bought a second-hand Celica for himself and applied whatever techniques he would learn to his own car. He was tuning his Celica and developing his racing skills in the mountains of Hokkaido. It was a small town with a non-existent racing scene. Bosses at Toyota found out he was tuning his car in their shop and they didn't like it. He lasted 4 years at Toyota. He got fired and headed to Tokyo. And that's how his journey with Top Secret started. When he got to Tokyo, the company Trust was already running tuning cars for racing. He knew what he wanted to do. He got a job at Trust. In the start, he just did the packaging of turbos, and that didn't satisfy him. He stuck around on his own time to learn more and work on his own projects. He didn't expect to be a success by complaining about work-life balance. His appetite for speed was growing. In his free time, he would offer his help in the racing department. He liked what was happening there. It grew into a passion. And once again, he started tuning cars in the company's garage, using the company's resources, even fabricating his own parts to customize it. But unlike Toyota, bosses knew he was an asset and didn't want to lose him. They let him do what he was doing on the condition he didn't tell anybody. He learned to be good or be good at it. He left the company within a year to pursue his dream. He opened his own tuning shop called Top Secret in 1991. The 90s was a golden era of JDM tuning, and top speed runs were everywhere. It was considered the renaissance of auto tuning. JDM cars with massive potential were released. Tuners went crazy with JDM rockets. They were the fastest machines for underground racers in Japan and US. Smokey and Top Secret had established a name, but now he wanted a reputation. Nagata didn't have enough money to build his own car, so his first project was a customer's car. Every car he worked on brought quality to the table. The best work of Smokey at Top Secret would be painted in gold. Top Secret was behind the V8 powered Skyline GTR and twin-turbo V12 Supra. Nagata wanted to grow more. He wanted Japan to be known for the fastest cars. He wanted to grab every opportunity for publicity that came his way. Fortunately, Top Secret caught the attention of a British magazine, Max Power. This was UK's famous automotive magazine that covered everything related to automobiles, from racing to tuning. They invited Smokey to the Power Show being held in the UK. He knew he had to go. This was the opportunity he'd been waiting for. So Smokey and his modified Supra went to England for the Power Show. He did burnouts at farms, in the middle of the roads, and at roundabouts, which is where he got the name Smokey, because he was burning tires. He made even greater cars in the years to come, and did even more insane top runs in every corner of the world. He became famous for his top runs and insanely fast cars, but this time around he made sure he wasn't doing anything illegal.
But I guess he didn't really learn his lesson, because he goes back to New Zealand, which is basically still just England. But whatever, I'm sure if you ask a New Zealander or an Australian, they'll tell you they're all unique and special and different, but to the rest of the world, it's still the same shit, just a different toilet. But anyway, he goes to New Zealand and he hits 180 miles per hour with a 3S GTE Supra.
After that, his goal was to achieve 249 miles per hour with the world famous V12 Supra. He took his V12 to the Nardo Ring test track in Italy, but only reached 222 miles per hour. And I say only, like 222 miles is slow or something. And these are just a few examples. Smokey never thought his menial crime in the British Midlands would be the reason for his success. I wouldn't say it was a crime, it was just a passion to be the fastest in the entire world.
Hey guys, this channel makes high quality documentaries on the famous, infamous, and the interesting. If you want to see a video on a specific topic or person, add it in the comments section and I might just put it on my to-do list. I'm always down for good ideas. Hit a sub on it and never miss a new video.